Hey, welcome back to Assessment and Physical Education. This is your lecture series for Unit 3. We're going to open Unit 3 today, and we will start talking about assessing fitness. So here are the concepts we'll do in Unit 3. We'll talk about assessing fitness. We'll talk about career-related and workplace fitness, and we'll detail some assessment labs for you. So today's lecture will be out of performance-based assessment for middle school and high school physical education. There's some sections in the textbook you need to look up in assessing fitness, but a lot of this information will come from a variety of sources outside of the textbook. So this is video lecture 1 for the assessing fitness module, and that is module 8. So here is module 8 and our objectives. Things we would like for you to be able to do, learn, have the knowledge and skills and abilities at the end of this module. So you consider these your learning objectives. First of all, we'll discuss the benefits of fitness and activity testing in schools and in community-based programs. We'll analyze the difference between traditional fitness testing and health-related fitness testing. We'll develop a SMART goal for a personal fitness goal. We'll understand what a SMART goal is. We will list various organizations and strategies for assessing health-related fitness. These are the organizations that have advocated for a change and their specific strategies. We will discuss the use of authentic assessment strategies, fitness portfolios, pedometers, heart rate monitors, and culminating assessment strategies in the development and assessment of health-related fitness. And you will be able to research and explain the 6 components of the fitnessgram. All right, so today's specific big ideas, what are we going to concentrate on today? We'll talk about the benefits of fitness and activity testing. We'll talk about the traditional, which would be traditional is another term for old school, fitness test. We'll discuss new strategies and techniques in health-related fitness testing and why different organizations advocated for a change to using these new strategies. We'll also discuss integrating health and fitness education. We'll introduce you to the Physical Best program, and we will also discuss how to develop a SMART goal. And that development of a SMART goal will be your assignment for this portion of the module. So let's start out with a couple of quotes. When we want to talk about assessing fitness and physical activity participation, the American Alliance for Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance in 1999, these are 2 quotes from that organization, and this organization has since then changed to Shape America. So I left this in here to cite it correctly. Here's 2 important quotes. The most important benefits of authentic assessment are to enhance student motivation and learning. So what does that mean to you? It means that if we're going to have authentic assessment that is true, we should enhance student motivation and learning through this. That means there should be some goals and some progress along the way. When you emphasize self-assessment, self-responsibility, and goal setting, you motivate students to improve their performance. So when students know how to assess themselves, they can do it at home outside of class. This would even be a client in a health-related setting that understands how to self-assess. They take some self-responsibility in performing and working on meeting their goal, and they have a SMART goal that they set themselves. This helps motivate your students or your clients to improve overall performance. So those are some good quotes to get our mindset right as we dig into some of the material. So why do we even fitness test, especially in schools? Well, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education in the state of Missouri requires all school districts to complete fitness testing at various levels. Data must be reported for all students at the 5th, 7th, and 9th grade level. I did this when I was a physical education teacher by completing the Fitnessgram and turning in the Fitnessgram report. You can enter all your data right on the Fitnessgram website. print out report cards to give to students, as well as complete your reports that way to turn in your statistics. We'll go over the fitnessgram later in this module. The big goal for fitness testing, if you're going to have an assessment, you should have a goal. Remember, with our backward design, it would be to integrate fitness education and assessment into a student's daily life in an effort to develop some kind of healthy lifestyle throughout the lifespan. So when we think about that, think about what assessments we use and why we use them. Are we meeting the goal to help students live a healthy lifestyle throughout the lifespan, or are we just punitively testing students? So I need you to take out your portfolio and take some notes. We're going to use this information for discussion, but consider this a journal activity in your portfolio. All right. Why fitness test? Write that down on the top of your piece of paper. So, where can fitness tests be used outside of schools? So we're not just talking about climbing the rope, push-ups and sit-ups, the pacer test. Where can fitness-related tests be used outside of the school setting? Before we dig into our material today, I need you to pause the video and write down 5 ways in this journal entry, put it in your portfolio, and we're going to discuss it in class next time. So write 5 different things, number these 1 through 5. Where can fitness testing be used outside of a school setting? So pause the video and complete that journal entry and then place it in your portfolio. All right, now that you've completed the journal activity, we're going to add on to the journal activity. So think about this. Think back to your experiences with physical education classes in middle school and high school. All right. So in your journal, I need you to answer these 3 questions. What fitness test do you remember using in middle school and high school when you were in PE class? Write down as many as you can remember that you did. After you complete that question, all right, how many times did you do each test? Do you remember doing each test a variety of times? Was there a pre-test and a post-test? Did you assess progress? Write down what you remember about how many times you did it. And then, do you remember what the results were used for? Were they part of the grade? Were they just to show you progress? If they were part of the grade, do you remember what kind of percentage? Was it 10%, 25%? So write down all of this in your journal. So you started with why fitness test, and this is thinking about fitness testing in PE. All right, so make sure you complete that journal activity from the last 2 slides. Write down all your different information and then bring that to class. We're going to start off class discussing this, and I'm going to want to see your journal entry. Remember, our portfolio is due in the next class period. So when we talk about traditional fitness testing, we must consider our past practices to determine the future of fitness education and assessment. So we have to look at our traditional fitness test, what was done in the past, and then determine if it's appropriate to use in the future or if we need to do something different. How do we do that? We look at the different results. We look at long-term results. We see if there was actually an impact or there was progress along the way, or if the assessment scores, if we use them to improve fitness overall. The past testing methods, when we look at those and study those, they seem to test performance only. They didn't really assess health-related items that are a focus of physical education and activity programming today. If you think about our last journal, did you do some rope climbing or timed running, or were there push-ups and pull-up test or a bent arm hang? Were these performance, or did these go to health-related assessment? If we did some long, slow distance or cardiovascular assessing in this time running, maybe. Some of this stuff could relate to muscular strength, but if these are the only tests, they don't necessarily work with health-related fitness and wellness. So students may have been tested at the beginning and ending of a grading period. What was your answer? Did you test once, Was it the beginning and end? Was your grade a part of it? Were you graded on progress, or were you graded on your final score, what your end test was? When you grade students on progress, remember, we've discussed this before, you have to be careful about the idea of sandbagging. If students understand that you're going to assess them and give them points on progress, they may slough off or relax or not do their best on the initial score to give them more room for improvement on their final score. The other thing is, there's a disadvantage for an expert. If somebody's already good at something, there's a very limited area that they can have some progress. So consider that if you're grading on progress. Look into all the things. If you're going to grade on one or a final score, you should always use the best score a student has, whether it's the one they do last or not. So the biggest thing with traditional fitness testing is these tests were integrated into the curriculum, but we didn't necessarily have class activities that were specifically designed to improve these scores. We did the test and then we moved on to doing our sports-related activities and kickball and basketball and softball and volleyball and different things in middle school and all of the different things we do in high school when we start integrating other things. So did we take classroom time to actually improve on the test from the first test, the baseline, to the final test? We usually didn't, is what the research found. So when we're thinking back to traditional fitness testing, students tested without any preparation, had a pre-test, a baseline. Then there might have been a little bit of work, but most of the research showed there wasn't much time or effort or dedicated activities to improve these scores. And then there was a final test later in the semester. Most of the tests just came about from students' growth. They grew, they got a little faster, they got a little stronger, they got in a little bit better shape because they were in school. Traditionally, most students would get out of shape in the summer and get in shape when they were in regular PE during the school. An explanation might not have been given to students about the how and the why of the test, so there was usually a lack of motivation. Should there have been some preparation? Should there have been multiple opportunities for success? All right, we need to think about that when we design our activities. When we talk about the hows and whys, if students understand that, that usually increases or improves motivation. We can discuss this and then have students set goals, and that also leads to increased motivation. The traditional fitness tests are norm referenced. What's the difference between a norm reference or criteria reference test? A norm reference test means the students are compared to the results of other students, and it's determined where they were they average, above average, below average for somebody of their sex and age, right? They may also use some kind of chart that has some national averages. And these averages are usually broken down by age, but the tricky part of this is the averages were usually a manipulation of scores done by college-age males, and they were just pared down what the researcher thought should be for students of a certain age or sex. All right? So results were reported in percentiles and compared to a national average or maybe even a class average, but they were compared to other people. What happens if you're in an advanced class? You might be below average, but if you're the advanced person in a beginner's class, you could be above average, but then when you look at your scale, were you actually fit or not? So some other information about traditional fitness testing is students weren't traditionally motivated by these tests. It was just a test. We did them. There was no connection to goals or fitness or why students should do these. Many students became turned off to health and fitness by this fitness testing. Some students seemed to have negative experience with this strategy and they started to avoid fitness activities. Maybe this is where students stopped dressing out in PE, decided they didn't want to take additional PE or be involved in physical activity or sports programs. Part of the thing is sometimes there's stage fright. Students were tested in front of the rest of their class or a large group. The lower skilled students usually were embarrassed, some stage fright or performance anxiety, from a variety of people led to some inaccurate data. All right. Once in a while, this could lead to motivation, but for 90% or more of your students, this led to some negative test results. Then, usually the student scores would be announced or posted. With a bunch of the different lawsuits and legalities due to the FERPA Act, this could be considered illegal or unethical. It could also lead to negative performances and lack of motivation. Testing this way, when everybody took an individual turn to do the test and other students were engaged in activities or watching the test, was not an efficient use of time, and administering these tests used too much class time and didn't help students develop their fitness because they had a variety of opportunities to complete activities. So all of this stuff from traditional fitness testing that we discussed kind of led to the advocating for a change in traditional fitness tests to some of the current fitness tests we use. These four organizations advocated for the use of new strategies and recommended a variety of different methods to test health-related fitness. And they actually, most of these organizations provide models for some education, some guides, and some various assessments. The NASB, Shape America, PCP, FS, and the Cooper Institute developed information on best practices, made recommendations for different programs and assessments, provide guidelines and materials such as instructional videos, scoring guides, and awards for physical fitness assessment, usually related more to some health-related fitness. So what are some of these organizations? NASB is the National Association of Sport and Physical Education. We'll see a lot of different things. We've learned the NASB standards before. We've assessed on those 5 different standards. Shape America is the parent organization that NASB falls under. It used to be called AFERD, but this is the Society of Health and Physical Educators. They've provided a lot of different information on assessing fitness. The President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports. Most of us remember that as the President's Physical Fitness Award, but this is the upgraded version that's is provided by the PCPFS. And then the Cooper Institute is a private institute, and it was founded on the idea of preventative medicine and public health by Dr. Kenneth Cooper, and he's provided things such as the fitnessgram and activitygram that are very popular for use in schools today. So these 4 associations provide guidelines and materials that describe appropriate use of fitness assessments tied directly to curriculum and content goals that are associated with the NASB standards as well as the national level, grade level expectations. So let's talk about some of these new strategies for fitness assessment. First of all, they emphasize understanding and student learning. Students are given explanation of what, why, and how. All right. This helps lead to motivation. Think about it. If somebody explains why you're doing something, allows you to set some of your goals, you're usually a little more motivated to persist in that activity. Students practice not only taking the test, but administering the test or assisting in administering the test. When people understand or are involved, they usually do quite a bit better on different assessments. They focus more on health-related test items than just fitness items. So consider, how do the results of these assessments relate to health? Most of the different organizations provide some guides with that, but we'll kind of go over some of the ideas where they fit in health and different areas of fitness. Students then can use these tests to set personal goals. Today, we'll explain how to write SMART goals, and you can have students use that to help set goals for themselves when they're doing their different health-related fitness assessments. This allows students to find out where they're at, track progress, and can be used as a motivator. When people see a baseline and see some progress over time, that usually helps motivate them to continue working hard. As well as these personal goals can help provide the teacher information for planning activities. Once you figure out where people are on the pre-test or their baseline, you can then plan different activities to help them improve over time before we get to the final chance for the assessment. So another thing is we went away from the norm referenced test to more of a criterion reference scoring with most of these new strategies. So instead of the scores being compared to other people, the scores in a criterion reference scoring are compared to a specific criteria. And in these, most of them are considered the healthy fitness zone. So they look at both age and gender and determine what levels of health a person should be at, and that's where the zone is, and then you just determine which zone the person is in. Your whole class could be in the top zone, where before they might be below average, but they could be fit. Scores are compared to both their personal scores and goals, as well as this healthy fitness zone. So norm referenced, remember, is comparing to other student scores, where criterion referenced is comparing to a zone or a target area that in these tests we can look for them being healthy. Student scores are recorded on individual scorecards, and you can keep these scorecards as the teacher to use in your grading or in your planning, but you really don't want to make them public information. Unless somebody meets all the healthy fitness zone scores, you could provide them with an award or put their name on a list that they've scored in every category in the healthy fitness zone. All right? Some of these assessments allow student choices, which are great. Do you want to do the 1 mile walk versus the 1 mile run? Or maybe do the pacer test. These are all ideas to test cardiovascular fitness. Do we want to do push-ups or pull-ups or a 1 rep max bench press? These are 3 different assessments that could be used to test muscular strength in the upper body. So if you allow students to do choices or do all of these and then take the best score, you're going to improve scoring and motivation in fitness testing. So what are the advantages of this new format? First of all, since we can train students to assist us in the assessment strategies and techniques and actually performing the assessments, students can be tested in small groups or half the class at once while the other half is scoring. So that takes away from the one-time test, right? Students can learn to administer the test items to both themselves and others. And this, like I said, usually understanding the test leads to increased motivation, as well as decreases the time on testing. We can use efficient strategies for administering assessments, things such as peer assessments or video assessments. When we allow peers to assess, this might mean we have half of the class assessing, the other half of the class doing a peer assessment or scoring, and we only take 2 or 3 cycles to get through the whole assessment, so it doesn't take as much time. A video assessment provides more class time for work because we'll just do a video analysis, but the teacher or student, if you're allowing the student to do a self-assessment, have to take some time outside of class to view this video assessment. If you as a teacher are going to video assess your whole class, you have to remember that might be 30 students that you're going to watch a video outside of. So that could take a lot of time outside of class. So we talked about NASP, the National Association of Sport and Physical Education, and their standards. So what NASP standards relate specifically to health-related fitness and physical activity? All right, Standard 3 and Standard 5 is the answer. So if we remember, Standard 3 is we're helping a student achieve a healthy level of fitness. And then Standard 5 is we're determining if somebody personally values or what their motivations are related to physical activity. Do they value it for cooperation, for teamwork, for fitness-related goals, the way it makes them feel, the ability to work in a group? So Standard 3 and 5 are directly aligned with health-related fitness and physical activity. How do we integrate fitness? First of all, there's a method to implementing this, and it really requires some kind of education and assessment. So the three methods of implementing fitness assessment into the PE curriculum uh, go about this a little bit different. Do you have a semester-long physical fitness course? It's focused on physical fitness. This could be strength training and conditioning. It could be personal fitness. It could be walk, jog. It could be aerobics. All right. So it's really a fitness-focused course that's designed to have some outcomes related to improving fitness. Another way we can do this, another method of implementing it into the curriculum is we distribute the content throughout the curriculum. We might integrate fitness concepts and content into every unit. We might use heart rate monitors while we're playing a specific team sport and then take the data from the heart rate monitor, aggregate that and discuss it, and then keep a log of that between different sports and then do a reflection to see which activities was our heart rate the highest. This could also be the idea of we're going to have some fitness days in our unit. We might on Tuesday and Thursday do some fitness building activities or go to the weight room or do different things, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday have our lesson focused on our activity content. Or you might do some kind of combination. That's develop the knowledge in an introductory course and then reinforce it kind of where it naturally fits in your class. So those are the three ways to really integrate fitness education and assessment into a PE curriculum. So as a teacher or even as a fitness professional, if have an idea of being a personal trainer, a coach, all of these things are important to understand. But the PE teacher is probably going to use these assessments the most because they need to collect the data on their class. So here are some of the different programs. The Physical Best program, and we'll go into each one of these next lesson, is a physical education for a lifelong fitness program. Right? It has some different textbooks, some different information, and it helps the PE teacher prepare a program focused on developing lifelong fitness programming and activities. The Cooper Institute is focused on health-related fitness, came up with the Fitnessgram and the Activitygram program, and these are programs that have some content and curriculum to develop a variety of fitness areas and then test these in the Fitnessgram. The Activitygram isn't as popular, but it looks for motor patterns and different activity and skill-related activities, and it gives you a curriculum to help build those and some different assessments. The Fitnessgram is one that is very popular, and a lot of schools use that for their fitness reporting. In the elementary area, the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sport provides different tests, a curriculum to build those students into being successful in those assessments, and there is a good awards program that goes along with that. There's different ribbons, different patches, different awards that students can earn, as well as certificates. And the Fitness for Life program is a textbook and web-based program that helps integrate fitness and lifelong activities in different formats that really helps you learn about providing students multiple opportunities within your class. It gives you some good ideas on how, if you have a classroom of 30, how to get everybody involved and active to have more chances at doing things and to help them raise their fitness level through different activities. Let's break down the Physical Best program today, and we'll get into the rest of the programs next time. The Physical Best program provides two different guidebooks. The Physical Education for a Lifelong Fitness program, which is the Physical Best Teacher's Guide, provides some different curriculum, some different plans, and some different ideas to help implement ideas to develop lifelong fitness throughout the lifespan starting at K through 12 and going into community-based programs. The Physical Best Activity Guide for the secondary level is basically different plans and different activities to do to help use activity to improve health-related fitness. This is really resources to assist planning and implementing fitness concepts and various assessments into your curriculum or your program. There's comprehensive information for fitness goal setting, helping students set different goals such as SMART goals, how to pre-test, set goals, and then work on different areas of weakness to improve and reach those goals. And then you can always look at the NASB website. The Physical Best program is sponsored in a way by NASB. NASB provides workshops and different certifications on both the Physical Best program and through Shape America in improving health-related fitness. So look up some of this information. You can Google Physical Best, or you should bookmark the NASB.org website and use these in the future in developing programs. Whether some of this stuff can really be used in community-based program if you're going to be a personal trainer, working with physical therapy, working with youth in physical therapy. These are a lot of different good programs that you can use along the way. So let's kind of pause discussing our different programs. And we've talked a little bit today about goal setting. So let's think a little bit about how can I set or help my students or clients set goals related to improving their health-related fitness. So when setting goals, it's important to develop an idea or a concept called a SMART goal, right? These are used in a variety of different things. They could be used in goal setting for fitness. I'm actually use those in grant writing. You need to set SMART goals. In business, you might have to have SMART goals. Anytime you're doing a long-term strategic plan, you're usually going to set a SMART goal. SMART is an acronym. The S is for specific, the M is for measurable, the A is for attainable, the R is for relevant, and the T is for time-bound. So what does that mean? Specific, state specifically what you're going to do. All right, what are you going to do within this goal? Measurable, that means you need to specify what you're going to use as tangible evidence that the goal is met. Are we looking at a percent increase? Are we looking at a certain number? Are we looking at a goal to finish? If we're thinking about losing weight, is it that we want to lose 5 pounds within 2 months? All right, the 2 months would be the time-bound part. They have to be attainable. So students and clients should have the skills to actually develop this level of competence or this certain level of performance, and it has to be challenging yet reachable. Actually, it's better to use SMART goals in short term and then readjust your long-term goals related to your measurements in your initial short-term areas. Results are, the R is for relevant results. So they need to be focused on specific outcomes, not necessarily activities you'll do. So they need to be very relevant and result-oriented. And the T is for time-bound. Time-bound, the goal should be linked to a time frame for achieving it. All right, so it's important to have a deadline. So specific, I would like to lose weight. Measurable, my weight now is 250 pounds. I'd like to be 245 pounds in 2 months. Attainable, losing 5 pounds in 2 months for an adult male is attainable. Is it relevant? Yeah, I think if I'm going to increase my fitness levels, work on my nutrition, control my portion size, do I need to lose weight to be more fit? Is it relevant? Yes. And is it time bound? Absolutely. I gave a 2-month time period. So I might actually put a specific date. So SMART goals should be used by students when developing personal fitness goals. You can teach them how to write SMART goals and then use these SMART goals to set up their plan, and then we can measure them along the way. All right, so here is your assignment, which is on writing SMART goals. All right, first of all, we will develop a personal fitness SMART goal. So remember, this needs to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So you'll write that SMART goal, and I gave you an example. I would like to lose 5 pounds within 2 months, and then provide a date, all right, to be in better shape. All right, and then, so look at it, and I want you to decide to write your goal and then come back and determine, is it specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound? If it is, then we might consider it a SMART goal. So that pretty much wraps up our information for the video lecture, but I want to provide you with your to-do list and then prepare you for later in the module and unit. So your to-do list is, first of all, you need to go look at the information page on the announcements for this module in Canvas, right? And complete your activity, which is developing a SMART goal, all right? All right, so develop your SMART goal and submit it on Canvas by the deadline. Remember, I'm going to do your final course portfolio check the next time we meet in class. So complete that, have it together neatly, print out the new portfolio front page that I sent out an announcement on Canvas, and submit that in the next class period. If you missed the announcement, you can look at the portfolio assignment, and I have the link to download the front page. Print that out, have that on there, and have your name in it so I can take a look at it in class next time. And then if you haven't, make sure you look ahead to Module 10 and start working on that final assignment. So the instructions and template for the final assignment are in Canvas. This is your assessment plan, all right? Don't wait until the last minute. Make sure you start now on that, because it is a, you know, it's a final activity. It's challenging. It takes some time, all right, to complete. And then post that to Canvas in Module 10 as soon as you got it done, but make sure you meet your deadline. All right, so the last thing is our Unit 3 exam is coming up in a couple of weeks. So here's the exam format, just to give you a heads up. There's 40 selected response questions. It's 80 minutes in time, 2 minutes for each question. It's over assessing fitness and professional and career related assessments. That'll be, so it's basically Module 8 and Module 9. And then there's our standard safeguards. So look at your safeguards, and then I'll go over this in class next time, what our timeline is. So make sure you complete all of your activities. Your assignment for today, bring your portfolio next time, and go ahead and look ahead to Module 9 and Module 10, and have a great semester. If you have any questions, let me know. But remember, when we're looking at some of these different tests, it's important to understand the different fitness and activity tests used in schools and how you can use them in community-based programming. We understand that traditional fitness testing was more on just testing fitness concepts, and the new age health-related fitness testing that's kind of sponsored by a variety of organizations is the way to go to improve motivation and actually align these assessments with what we should be teaching people in order to live a long-term healthy life over the entire lifespan. And as you develop your SMART goals, make sure you understand that process, because that's something you can do whether it's fitness related, life related, or just goals in general. All right, we'll see you next time. Have a great day.